Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday, day before CPI. How's everyone doing? Another quiet day. Nothing much for me to say. Nothing's really different from yesterday. Good morning, John. Good morning, Ro. Good morning, Patrick. Good morning, Jacob. All right. What do we have going on today? Well, we have Powell speaking again in front of the House today. Already submitted his prepared remarks. They are the same as the prepared remarks to the Senate yesterday. Excuse me. So it's just what he's not going to say anything different than he did yesterday. So I don't know. Mortgage information coming out. Mortgages dropped slightly for the 30 years. Crude numbers coming out at 10:30. We got some note and bill auctions, and we got some Fed speak. That's really about it. But remember, tomorrow is CPI. Risk to the market is at something. Shocks to the upside, expected to come in at 3.4 year over year for core, and the headline number is, where's the headline number? There it is. It's supposed to come in at 3.1 versus 3.3 previous. So we'll have to see with that. But again, nothing going on today. Let's see. Good morning, Royal Palms. NVIDIA, after triggering the doubles, marching higher. What else do we got going on? I mean, you got all your techs. It's just sort of melt up tech rally. Melt up tech rally. Little financials pulling back ahead of some of the bank earnings coming in Friday. Groups, technology, consumer cyclical, utilities, consumer defense is leading. The only thing that was negative was the financials. So everything else positive, and that's financials are barely negative. Fed watch still favoring the rate cut for September, even after Powell's remarks yesterday, and fear and greed in neutral mode. Again, we don't have to spend a lot of time today. We might as well enjoy our summer. Good morning, Richard. We got WD-40. I don't think this market needs any more lubricant based off where it's going. Tomorrow we have Pepsi and Delta. And then remember, Friday's kicking off next quarter earnings season. So S&P, little pullback, but still positive close yesterday. Just grinding higher. So really, there's not much to talk about. 5666, and then the next major target 5683. If we're trying to move this, let's just see if we come up to the next major target, since it's stalling out at that harmonic. Where are the next major things? Would be 5771. So other than that, the key support I'm looking today, should we get any kind of pullback, not expecting much like a major pullback, but it would be 5625. Major support coming in right around 5600. What do we have here? I mean, you got just a little mini double. Didn't go over the S&P. It's still technically correct. These are against the rotation zones. If it would close against close below 5628 on a 4-hour basis, that would be the only thing. But that could be just a minor pullback. Same with the Nasdaq. If it closed below 20,615. Otherwise, that's the only little minor time pattern, which all it would do is take it back into the rotation zone. The rotation zone on the daily is about 20,500. So that would be a first target. That would be a major target on any bigger pullback. I doubt we'll see that, but 20,903, those levels haven't changed if we push up today. Can you explain something on me on the 4-hour cross on the MACD to the what? I saw a 4-hour cross on the MACD to the downside, but we wake up to the upside. Well, first of all, I don't use the MACD. And what settings are you using? Again, you can adjust the lengths of the moving averages, and it doesn't matter. The crossovers, I mean, MACD can cross to the downside. You said 4-hour. but the trend is still grinding higher. You get false signals when you're going against the trend. It's like in anything. But I don't have the MACD on my charts, and it depends on what length you're using, what smoothing factor you're using, and just because something triggers does not mean the market has to pull back. It's just another indicator. So I like price action the best. See, roughly for indicators, I just keep it simple. Overbought, oversold, the cyclical nature, and even the percent B is dramatically overbought, oversold in the short term that could trigger a counter trend move. Dow, nothing. I mean, there's no point in even talking about it. Nothing's changed from the analysis yesterday. Russell, nothing. And look at this. It's gone nowhere. So there's no point talking about it. No fear. Nothing to talk about there. DAX, not really a lot to talk about here unless it closes back below 18,284. Notes, nothing to talk about here. Ahead of the CPI. So yield, nothing to really talk about here. You had the potential percent B buy, did not close above the high. Nothing to talk about here. If we do sell off tomorrow, the key level to watch is 4.2. If we rally, the really significant area based off of recents is right about 4.45. 10-2s, we'll see some movement in this tomorrow, but I'm still watching it form a higher base up here. The only thing is if we drop below about minus 32 basis points again. Dollar index did trigger a little percent B buy yesterday. You got to manage this one really close. Cycle's turning up now. If CPI comes in hotter, this will probably run to the upside. So, but I would not be taking on a huge reward risk profile going into the CPI with that. Crude coming down on the double against the rotation zone, hitting first and second, trying to dip below the rotation zone, bouncing back up. This is why you take into account the rotation zone when you're doing doubles against it. Now we saw the EIA numbers coming out, so if they come out, we got another sell-off. 80-30 to about 80-50 is the key support area. If this is done, then if we do rotate up against those EIA numbers, 82.45 is key. Gold, keep an eye on this because it's trying to put in a slightly higher base. So we had not a double, but two bottoms. A move higher, not with the close above 62.5 yet, pulling back, catching on the separating rotation zone, rotating up right now, still 23.98 is key on the closing basis. And then if it runs the upside tomorrow, 24.17 and 24.35 are the targets. The key support is coming in at 23.45. Silver also, little triangle higher base up here. Acting like it wants to coil higher. The next target, because this closed above the 62.5, is 32.23, and then the 32.69. Let me fix this because those aren't accurate anymore. So I'm going to adjust some of these levels. That's if you do break above that, you got 32.80. Then the next major is 33.79 with a minor level being 32.70. Copper, not really much to talk about, trying to make a higher base. So if we do rally up, it's 4.76 in the short term. Good morning, Heinrich. Hey, Christoph. Do you think a CPI comes in line, or do you think we miss? I think there's a little more risk that it comes in worse than expected on the CPI. Yen, we had to percent B buy. Following through, we are in potential double top territory. So the trailing point now, from my perspective, is on a close below 160.26. Other than that, nothing's changed with the next key target, 162.34. Let's just see if we do from this most recent key pullback to here. We have 162.87 and then 163.80. Euro just basing sideways. Still, the probabilities have shifted. Why don't I have that anchored right? Why don't I have that anchored right? There we go. We got too many levels here too. Hold on. Let me take off some of these other levels. Let me clean this up for a second. In the short term, magnet prices still, that's why if we do come in line with the CPI or even better than expected, your euro will probably, dollar will sell off. Euro 108.53, 108.88 are the target areas. Bitcoin has confirmed a little mini double but not triggered it. Against the rotation zone clearly needs the trigger. Other than that, the bigger double is still in play to the downside. And if this does trigger the major area, is about 60,550 and then 62,800. Spiders, 558. Nothing's changed from the target yesterday above there. If you want the farther back target, the farther back target is 564.18. Support at this point coming in at 552.50. Major support. Oh boy, we're stalling out at the cluster, but if we do break through, yesterday's high, 505.30. Tesla, which is still on its rocket ship ride, going into earnings, 279.23 is the magnet price. Trading 263.27 going to the open. NVIDIA, which is sort of doing a channeling double, but it's hit that first target, so it's definitely a stop raise at this point. Next, targets. Keep in mind that above 135.08 takes in potential double territory, so that's raising a longer-term stop. And then you have 135.68 for the next target on the double, and 138.20. Looking to open them about 133.75. You're not going to get a correction before 24K. Okay, Coco. Good morning, Ted. Bought the double. It's also news. Could you tell me why the double is not? Bought the double bottom on ME, the micro ES daily triggered on June 28th. Oh, this little one? Hold on. June 28th. It's a double bottom. June 28th. Where I don't see a on the MES. Are you just talking the? I don't see a double. Because this would not be reversing enough of a move. So Tesla and goes and Mars was even. Okay, Coco. Thank you. Can we look at the diamonds? I mean, there's essentially the same analysis as the Dow, because it's the Dow ETF. It's a whole lot of nowhere. I mean, at this point, the key area for a sell-off is down below 385.46. And the magnet price, the upside is still 398.42. And PEP, which has earnings tomorrow. Now, Pepsi has a valid potential double. What am I doing? But, I mean, Pepsi is very interesting, trading very key support. Remember, just because it has a potential double, this could be invalidated on earnings tomorrow. Pepsi is very, very interesting because it's in a very key support zone. Where you want to watch Pepsi is if it really starts breaking down below about 155. 155 is a very critical line in the sand. Now, overall, in Pepsi, it's now back below its 200 week, which we're closing now below it. And the last time that happened was a quick little sell-off in COVID. But if you ignore that, I mean, it's really held its 200. So I'm be watching this very specifically. It's really got to start regaining about 165 after earnings. Other than that, you're in a very key support zone. If it loses that, especially if it loses the lows from last October on a weekly closing basis, I'd be prepared for the bigger pullback. Send me a screenshot, Eric. Support of Path Trading Partners. Okay. I am simply not seeing a double. At all. Because this is not a double. It's not reversing a move. This is just a breakout from a channel. All right, with that, there's not really much to talk about besides the grind higher. You got Powell speaking. The bigger thing for me to watch today is crude with the EIA numbers, and then be prepared for the CPI tomorrow. With that, I will talk to everyone later. Bye for now.